Hi guys, Asmo here. I managed to get a Headhunter belt in PoE 2 within the first week from the launch of Early Access, and I'm gonna share with you some tips for Atlas progression, how I set up my Atlas, and also how to make the currency, how to liquidate your items, and also how to sell them and price check them. So there's gonna be a lot of tips, and meanwhile, while I'm talking, there's gonna be some footage in the background that you're gonna be seeing with the Headhunter. And this belt is a very iconic in PoE 1. It's basically used to be like everybody's goal to get this belt. It will be like that pinnacle of like your accomplishment in the league. If you get this, then the game becomes like trivially easy because you just destroy everything. But it has been nerfed over and over and over in PoE 1, so it kind of lost this status. But in PoE 2, it's a completely new thing. It's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna try to make a build around it. I wanted to get it because it's just fun. It's just a cool thing to get. It's just like a fun goal to have. So if you wanna get it, go for it. But it's not like a necessary thing. It's no longer like in PoE 1 where it was like the most broken thing. Who knows, maybe I'll make it a little bit better. Maybe when we juice things it's gonna be insane, but right now it's basically really good in Breach. Like you're seeing some footage from Breach and it's kind of cracked because the game cannot keep up with so many monsters from the Breach spawning. Also I rolled this map with like extra rare monsters, and it has like, you know, pretty decent map in terms of the rolls on the Waystone. And of course my build also explodes so many grenades at the same time. It does like so many hits and poisons and ignites, so it really takes, you know, an effort for it. I don't know if it's the computer or if it's the servers, but it really cannot keep up with that many monsters being blown up with so many different effects and debuffs on them. So that's why it's like, you know, losing FPS, or I have like dynamic calling, so it's like losing resolution, so I can keep up the FPS and actually, you know, see a little bit what's going on and see where my character is, so I can control it and not die, because, you know, the character is relatively squishy still. I still have a lot of upgrades to do because I prioritized the Headhunter and saved currency for it. But yeah, it's really fun. It's really cool, but I'm gonna basically tell you how I set up my Atlas first so that you can also do it, and also how to avoid wasting your Waystones. So this is maybe the first thing I'm gonna talk about. So, you know, you're gonna have a lot of Waystones and you're gonna have a lot of low tier Waystones, and there's actually a decent use for them, although you're not gonna need that many of them that you have. But the main thing that you wanna avoid spending your Waystones on, like the higher tier ones, is things like, for example, Moment of Zen, the map that has the single merchant and no monsters in it, right? For that map, obviously you don't want to spend the high tier maps. And also there's a thing, I think there's a bug where the map is like failed and not completed, so it wouldn't even counted toward your quest. You know how you have these quests like complete, you know, certain tier maps like times 10 or times 6 or whatever. So these things will not even be completed. So just put like a low tier tablet, and unless you have like lots of higher tier tablets, right? But put a tablet that it's not necessary for your progression, and use that for it. The other thing would be the towers. So for towers, I would also recommend using lower tier tablets. They're just annoying, you know. They're like you're blocked by the mobs that are on the way. You want them to be easy. You want to get as quickly through it. Just rush as quickly as you can, like along one of the edges, you know, outer edges of the layout to get to the tower, click it and portal out, right? That's all you need to do, because they're not really a good map. You cannot also juice them, right? So they cannot have like a boss, they cannot have a breach in them. So you just put the low tier tablet in them and don't waste your good ones on this. And that's basically it. Another thing, of course, is you can use the lower tier tablets for just like traveling completion. If, for example, your strategy is to travel, let's say I wanted to go to this area and I had here some travel like maps that had like nothing in them, and I can basically use like a lower tier tablet, and then when I have a lot of stuff like a boss and you know, a factory, then I can use my best tablet, right? Because you know, the breach and the boss are gonna drop more maps, so I want the better tablet in this, and I want it to be relevant to whatever tier I want to progress. So that's how you basically don't waste the tablets. Another tip is for the Atlas. So in the Atlas, I highly recommend you just type in the search bar quant. Okay, just type in the search bar quant and spend your first points on stuff that says quant basically on it, except for this. So I would highly recommend pathing either first if you have trouble with Waystones, which when you get to the higher tiers, you definitely are going to have trouble with waystones. So path toward first, like toward this increased quantity of waystones found in your maps. Then you can path toward this, the quantity and rarity of items, or you can simply skip these two. And that's what I did. I first path to the waystones, quantity of waystones, and then I path down here for the waystones found have 20% chance to be a tier higher. This is very, very good. And then as quickly as I can to deadly evolution and also waystone quantity. So waystone quantity, waystone, higher tier, and waystone quantity here. That's the most important thing that you should path to first. And then also the deadly evolution is very, very good because most of your currency is gonna come from rare monsters. This is also great for a headhunter, of course, right? Because I'm going to have extra modifiers that I'm going to be stealing from these monsters. So I am going to be stronger. But even if you don't have a headhunter, prioritize getting to this keystone because you're going to get more currency, you're going to get more items. The rare monsters and the unique monsters also getting the extra modifiers means that you're going to get better map sustain, you're going to get more currency, and it's going to be easier for you to upgrade your character, even though the monster is going to be a little bit more difficult, but just make your build better, right? You're going to make more currency, it's really worth it. And then after that, after getting the waystone stuff and the quantity here, I went for the extra rare monster. And there's an interesting bag actually that is very rare because it's maybe like, I don't know, let's say you have like 6 rare monsters in a map or 10 rare monsters in a map, then it's like 1 in 6 or 1 in 10 for that to happen. Basically, if your last rare monster, let me go on D&D maybe, so people don't message for the trades. Okay, so if your last rare monster is duplicated, you actually get double the completion. I actually had that situation where I had like a double monster as my last rares, and I killed them both, and I got 2 maps completed for my quest, right? Because I still had, I put 2 maps in my inventory because I was like, 8 out of 10 or something, or 6 out of 8, I think. And then I did that one map and completed the quest. I'm like, what the hell? Wasn't I supposed to do another map? But the rare was duplicated, right? And that's why I think there's a bug currently where you get double duplication for that. So that's how I recommend starting the Atlas. Another tip I can give you is for pricing and selling your items to get a POE overlay. Right now, there is not that many third-party tools developed yet for POE 2 because the developers from POE 1, they're working on POE 1 stuff, and a lot of the game is like completely different. So there's a lot of work needs to be done, but someone already made a update, basically POE 2 overlay, where you can price check your items. The price checking tool works basically in a way where you press a hotkey to pull up this menu, and then you can search for the items that basically match the stats that you have here or match the name. So you can unselect different stats. If I don't care about the roles, I just click search like that, and it shows me 700 exalts for a headhunter right now. You can do this with rares as well, right? So if I have, for example, a helmet and I want this much life, this much rarity, and double res, probably there's going to be almost none. Oh, there is some. Okay, so 10, 20, 40 exalts. And you can also open a browser where you can see more detailed results. This also works for trades, so it gives you like a cool way to have hotkeys for inviting people, for accepting trade, for closing trade. You're gonna see probably I have here, maybe if I scroll up, do I have, yeah, thank you, blah, 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 have a nice day and good luck. So this basically automatically sends a message. This will not get you banned, by the way, because if you're not familiar, in POE 1, something like that already exists. And I think POE overlay for POE 1 also exists. People are using it. It's just to make, trading easier. As long as whatever overlay you have or whatever tool you have doesn't input multiple actions with a single key press, so like a macro thing, you should be fine, right? Like always double check, but this is like a tool that lots of people are using, so you're safe using that. Highly recommend doing this. And now for what to sell and how to trade and how to make your money, right? So number one thing, of course, if there is a stash tab sale, if you don't have stash tabs, get some stash tabs because they are very, very useful. And as you're picking up items, you're going to be dropping them into a dump tab, ideally like a quad tab, and you have it priced at like 1x or 2x or whatever you want. And for example, that way I don't have to bother with like the ultimatums and the Jin coins. Whenever I drop one that has the right amount of trials, like the 10 trials or like 4 trials for the coin, then someone automatically will message me because they're worth like 1x, right? So, and then you can sort that to different tabs. Unfortunately, we don't have tab affinities for everything. It would be very nice if we had tab affinities for like the catalysts and this stuff. If we had tab affinities for other stuff, like what else is there? Runes, right? There's like runes. But yeah, you can basically do that and then set it at like a relatively high price. And then if it doesn't sell, like before you log out, let's say like half an hour before you log out, change the prices to like lower, sell whatever you can, and then the rest thing you can vendor, or you can set it to a tab that's lower and sell it next day, right? Like if, for example, you have different tabs here, if something in this tab, if it doesn't sell, if it doesn't sell like this, if it doesn't sell today, then tomorrow, for example, I can just, as I log in, move all of the things, or like halfway through my PlayStation, I can move all of the things into the lower price tab, or just like reprice the tab, right? So that's basically it. Hopefully this has been helpful. Good luck on your journey to Headhunter, or whatever item or whatever goal you have. The game is very fun. I'm gonna definitely try to make something with the Headhunter. I was actually thinking, because I've seen that there's the gloves for self-curse, so maybe we could try doing self-curse in some way. I would have to figure out, but I think maybe Pathfinder, because Pathfinder is not affected by slows. So like Pathfinder, self-curse with Headhunter, maybe that would be an option. I'm gonna look into that, try to theory craft, and maybe level this character next. So that's gonna be a plan for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.